Is emotional constipation weighing you down? Is emotional constipation weighing you down? And I'm talking about something luggage wise that you could be carrying around. Is it something that's like a personal item, a carry on? Or is it like this? Are you carrying around this? That's, I mean, there's nothing in that and it's heavy. So if you have lots of things in there, how heavy is that to carry around all the time? What is the habit of emotional what is leading to emotional constipation? The habit of suppressing your emotions, avoiding emotions, which can lead to negative effects on your mental health as well as your physical health. And stress is obviously interconnected with all this because it really makes sense to why that would be impacting your emotional as well as your physical being. Let's jump right into what signs and symptoms you might be looking at if you are not handling your baggage, whatever size it happens to be. You could have chronic stress. You could have difficulty expressing your emotions, noticeable changes, quick changes, even in your behavior or mood. And this can lead to physical manifestations of maybe you have headaches, digestive issues, sleep disturbances. You can't lose weight. You could have high blood pressure, muscle tension, lowered immune function. These are all pretty large things when it comes to things around your health. And I know for some people, this can be the go to as far as what they want for their health to lose weight. And when you're doing all the things that you need to do, from eating well to drinking water, getting movement, you're taking supplements, what is the other factor that's at play that's you're not getting the results you want? And it could be that you're not dealing with your emotional component of it. You're not dealing with the emotional layer that can really hold us back. It can, when we are holding on to things, and you think about it, holding on to things, holding on to weight, that's kind of like a manifestation of it. You're really holding on to that whatever emotion you don't want to talk about because of whatever reason. And we're going to get into kind of causes around that. And kind of a personal story. It's still obviously a journey for me as far as my health and getting to a better place, as it's always a journey. Personal story when it comes to emotions. I used to be the type that would be grabbing very tightly onto that bag and stuffing things down and digging a very, very deep hole and pushing it down to get rid of emotions because I didn't know how to deal with things. And just because you've dug your emotions and thrown them in a hole somewhere, your body still knows about it. It's still there, even though it's not in the front of mind. It's still affecting you. It's not gone. Just because you can't see it in the moment doesn't mean it's gone. It's still there. It's still affecting you mentally, emotionally, physically. It's still something you want to consider. It's still something we want to look at. And as things have as time has gone on, I've figured out how to express more of my emotions and get things out. And it does help to have people around you who will support you in that and enable you to have a positive outcome with that. And I did have another point, but it just kind of escaped me. It'll probably come back. So going on to finding your voice and being able to speak up is very critical to having this all around health that we want. Yes, what are you holding on to? Kate says. Yeah, exactly. It's the physical manifestation of it. Sometimes we do it to protect ourselves, and sometimes, mostly, we do it to protect ourselves. Goodness me. And there could be various deeper reasons for that as well, but we won't get into that at the moment. So, causes of emotional constipation. There can be around the societal and cultural factors. These could come into play as why you suppress your emotions. Maybe it's just been normalized. Depending on your background, maybe your family didn't discuss emotions. Maybe it was considered a sign of weakness, or you just don't talk about those things. Don't cry, right? Don't cry. You're not allowed to cry. And this could kind of flow into gender expectations around emotions and this whole thing, like men looking to be strong and masculine and more on like a stoic side, not expressing sadness or fear, because this again can be a sign of weakness. Women are more so to conform to nurturing and warmth, more the feminine energy, and showing anger or anything aggressive could be seen as, or showing anger could mean that you are aggressive, or that the many terms that come out, and I've kind of heard it in the industry I've worked in. If you are showing any sort of assertiveness, in my view, it can mean that you are a bitch or whatever the case is. And that's just one differentiation between women's side and the men's side. When it comes to a workplace, workers could fear that they would be seen as unprofessional if they express vulnerabilities or emotions. I think that's kind of turning around, but even still, if like that can still be something someone's holding on to and thinking that if I do this, I'm not going to be seen as professional. I'm not going to be seen as maybe a strong candidate for whatever position. This could also stem from perhaps personal experiences and traumas. When we're anywhere from 0 to 7, this is when we're basically all unconscious mind, and we're basically like a sponge. We are a sponge. And when things happen, whether it's really kind of a small little incident from maybe as a child, you went in to wake up your parents and it was really early in the morning, but you were excited and you wanted to see them, and they told you and yelled at you and told you to go away. This could be something that you've stored in your mind, that, oh, I can't bother people because it'll upset them, or, they'll get angry, whatever it is. And it was just a case of your parent was tired, they were sleeping, maybe they were a shift worker, they were up late. And we take that experience and make it personally. And it wasn't meant to be this big thing, but we don't have any rationalization. We just take everything personally at that point. And this is where we can lead to having similar events like that if we don't resolve those issues. So that can come from your childhood traumas, whatever that happens to be for you, because it's different for everybody. And it could be from maybe grief or loss of a loved one, maybe a job, relationships, all these kind of things can play into that. Let's see what Kate's saying here. Kate, yes, had such an empowering conversation with a client yesterday. When you let go, wow. And she also said, I worked in a very male-dominated workplace and felt I had to be strong all the time. Or weak. That terrified me. Interesting. So tips. This is the point that we really want to get to. What are the tips in order to improve your emotional well-being? What easy things can you do or incorporate? So you want to become more aware of your emotions, because as I talked about for me earlier, when you're stuffing things down and digging that hole and throwing everything in there, I understand it can kind of be kind of overwhelming. You don't even know where to begin because the layers have just added up. So where to start? The easiest thing to probably do is just journal. No one has to see this. No one else has to even know it exists. Whatever comes to mind that you need to get out, just write it down. Write it down. And actually probably do it physically on pen and paper, because then you're physically involved. I know typing is physical, but sometimes just actually writing it makes an even bigger impact on you. From there, you can look at meditations or hypnosis. Hypnosis is something that we're looking to incorporate for clients to bring them to the next level of healing, because there's so many layers to that. And if we're not handling the mindset and emotional component of it, you just may not be able to jump to that next level. So what other healthy things can we look at? Regular exercise, whatever that is for you. Maybe it's just any sort of movement. You're dancing, you're in the kitchen, you are lifting weights, maybe just getting out for a walk in nature, just something that works for you, something that can bring you back down to a state of calm. Regular exercise, walking out in nature. Maybe you'll see some animals out in nature, birds, rabbits, whatever. Maybe not squirrels are going to bring so much calm, but anything that you can find out in nature that you connect to and that can bring you some calm. I know maybe it's the strangest thing for some people. It's not for me. We have a local provincial park that we go to often, and they have actually some cows on site. And we were there last week, the week before, and just being around them is so calming. I could actually just like sit there and lean on the fence and just watch them do their thing. There's just something calming about that. And if this was a way for you to kind of find that calmness and release things, maybe you can just kind of process what you've been through. Maybe you could do your journaling while you were doing that. Find whatever works for you to support that emotional release, getting it out of your system so it's not manifesting into the headaches, the high blood pressure, whatever it is, get it out of your system the easiest way for you. What else do we have here? And stress kind of comes into this as well. If the stress and the emotional baggage, if you're not handling that constant chronic stress, again, finding positive ways to handle that, positive things that bring you joy. Maybe it's playing a sport, maybe it's playing an instrument, whatever that means for you. Kate says, that's because animals are such pure energy. They are, and they're very much in the feminine energy. They're just being, they're just there, present moment. It's like our dog, present moment. Is it food time? I'm present moment. I care about this right now, and then moves on from there, right? And if you need to look to get help from someone else, maybe it's a professional, maybe it's someone who does hypnosis or whatever the case is, meditation, find ways to get support, have a strong support system. Do you have people around you who encourage you to talk about your feelings and get your emotions out? Are they supporting you in the way that you need? And you will be the only one that knows what that is. If you have something kind of nagging at you saying that this person's not really fulfilling my needs the way I need to, perhaps think of looking at someone else who maybe could. And maybe it's not a friend, maybe it's not a family member, maybe it is someone professional, because that is something they're there to do for you. They're there for you. They don't have any other family ties or whatever that could perhaps influence. They are there for the benefit of you, the client, and want the best outcome for you. So basically, what are the key things we want to look at here? We want to become aware of how we're handling our emotions. Are you dealing with them? Are you aware of that you're having them? Are you getting emotionally cranky, or you getting to the point where you might like just blow up at something? These could be signs that you're not handling your emotional well-being. So look for ways to deal with that, so you're not having this physical manifestation of symptoms coming down, having too much weight, having tension in your body, you're having the high blood pressure, digestive issues, whatever it is. If you're noticing that you have those things, maybe it is tied to an emotional component. Just something to think about and be aware of. And just when you're going throughout your day, just be aware of how you handle situations. Are you more sensitive to, even if it's just a minute situation where you feel like maybe you're overreacting, just kind of look internally and look at ways to handle that. I think a good thing is the easiest thing that I think of is just journaling, because at that point, no one else has to know what's going on. It's just between you and your pen and your book. And if you want to, some people do like to kind of cleanse, and they can burn the paper safely, of course. And that's one way just to kind of get rid of it, and it's out of your system. So prioritize yourself, make time for yourself in order to do these things. That's something else. That's another theme we're seeing with clients, that they're not taking time for self. They're wanting to be all the things for everyone else, and they're not taking time to rest, recover, maybe do this journaling, have some deep breathing, whatever it is. Self-care is important, and it's something that is okay for you to set boundaries and say, I need this time for me so I can be better for everyone else. So when you're working with us at Align Natural Health, this is something we look at. We look at the emotion side of thing, and we look at the mindset component. Yes, we're going through and looking at the physical aspect of it, like what areas of your body are not working well and what do they need. The emotions are something else we will test for as well and see what do you need, because we're incorporating some appointments with myself, and we're going to be getting some hypnosis for people. And this is a good way to kind of connect and just find the calm that you need in order to resolve some other things that might be going on. And we can test and see what you need. If you're looking to find better results, this is something that we incorporate in there. We want the alignment between our body and our emotions and our mindset. When we have these things, we're able to get better results. So if you want to find out more, we have a free discovery call. So we'll put the link somewhere about that so you can book that. And if you have any questions, just reach out, send us a message anytime. We would love to hear from you. So thank you for everyone for listening. If you found this of any value for yourself, please comment. And if you think it's valuable for someone else that it could help, please share it with them. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next week. Have a great day.